Hi everyone. Well, this is our session on Drymatic heat drying and also how heat drying can help you and your business be a bit more successful in your drying ventures. So what we're going to do is we're going to run through all of the equipment and how it can help you, and certainly we're open to any questions, guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to run through each section of the equipment. So if you do have any questions, please make sure you type your questions, and I'd love to answer them for you. So let's talk about our new Buspar. This particular Buspar here, it's got 6 heaters instead of 5. So the original Buspar had 5 heaters, and let me tell you how it works. So if I pop this screen up here and we have a look at the screen, a little bit about it different. So I'll light it up for you. So this particular fan's on really low. It's got very low airspeed. And how it works is it's got 1627 watts right now. So, and the air in is 28 and the air out is 39. This particular fan would be around 1300 watts on the old boost. And the reason being is the more energy going through the actual boost, the more energy comes out. Okay? The higher the airflow, the more energy comes out. But now everyone's got all these different fans. They've got high powered fans, they've got flat fans, they've got all these different fans. So what we've been able to do is this. If you have a lower speed fan, like a flat style fan or a lower speed fan, and you put it in front of the boost, and it draws less than 7 amps because it's a PTC heater. So what happens is, the more energy going over, the more fan speed going over that heater, the more energy I've got coming out. Now, if you've got not a lot of airflow, it picks it up going, I'm pulling less than 7 amps, I'm going to turn on the 6th heater. It turns on the 6th heater. If it pulls over 9.5 amps, it turns off the 6th heater. So, you know, literally, this fan here, it's on low, and when I turn it on high, it's on 6 heaters right now. When I turn on high, the 6th heater kicks off. So right now, I've got over a 10-degree difference coming out of this fan at 1631 watts. So what that means is these are 20% hotter with lower powered fans. So what can we do with this? So we can do many things, but let's talk about the Drymatic mats. So we've got so many different types of mats. Obviously I couldn't set them all up for the show, but we have at least 20 something different types of mats. So this is our triangle mat, and this one has 0 holes. So it's got no holes underneath it. So all that does is transport the energy from here to here. And this particular mat has got the holes. And what these do is they create little microjets of energy. And these little microjets of energy can heat your walls or your floor or your ceiling or whatever you're trying to heat. It breaks the boundary layer. So these little microjets of energy break the boundary layer. So great for target drying. So now with the new boost, you know, I'm raising that temperature over 10 degrees. And if I can raise that temperature more than 10 degrees on my surfaces, I can get a rapid evaporation potential of that material. So by heating the material, you dry faster. People say to me, how do I dry this faster? I say, what's the temperature of the material? I say, it's 20 degrees. If you heat it up to 30 degrees, you've doubled the rate of evaporation. So that's how that works. Very easy to use, just like the old Buspar, but it's now hotter. So make sure whenever you have an air mover connected, use the fan to boost bar connector. We've also got the fan to boost box connectors for the older model with the fan to boost bar connector. That way it delivers all of that airflow into the boost. There's no leakage. Okay? This is our new air mover as well, blowing all of that energy into here. So now we're heating the floor and we're heating the walls. So these particular mats, they come in 4 meter lengths, and they also come in 2 meter lengths. It's the same with this size. This is a half meter wall, comes in 2 meter lengths, and also comes in 4 meter lengths. You know, we've got mats from 3 meters by 2 to 3 by 1 to 2 by 1 to 1 by 1. We've got all different types of mats. They're all on our website, restoresolutions.com.au. if you want to have a look at all the different types of mats that we have. But there's always a mat that can do something. If you go to a job and you need 1 square metre to dry, there's a mat that does 1 square metre. There's a mat that does half a square metre. So whatever you need to dry, we have a mat for it. We've thought about it. So that's a little bit about target drying with Boost. So people, when they start off and they want to get into heat drying, they go, I need my technician to do it. I said, well, it's pretty simple. They say, oh, we're used to having dehumidifiers and fans. And I said, okay, well, at the end of the day, if I'm going to be target drying an area, let's say I'm target drying an area of carpet. It's 2 square metres of carpet. I can go in with this fan in one hand, the Boost and the mat in the other hand, and just walk in and have that set up in about 3 to 4 minutes. People then try to pull carpet and tent it underneath, and then they've got to relay it. And it's just too hard. If you extract properly, and then you do some heat drying from the top, it's a much faster way. So the things that people are using these mats for is to target dry timber floors. They're trying to target dry carpet, underlay, concrete, yellow tongue floor, walls, lots of brickwork, blockwork, any type of material. By raising that energy in the material, it releases more moisture. So that's a little bit about our mats and our new Boost setup, how it can help you. But most guys start small. But also what they do is they go, why isn't my Boost running at maximum? Why can't I get 50 degrees out of my Boost? And I said, well, what's your temperature going in? So right now our temperature going in is 27 in here, and it's 38 coming out. So at the end of the day, it will get hotter because I'm adding, 1.7 kilowatts of energy into the room. And slowly the room will then go, it's not 27 anymore, it's now 29. Now it's sucking in 29, might be pumping out 40 coming out. And then it heats the room up to 30 or 31. And now it's pumping out 42. It will reach a threshold. It can't just keep heating and heating, depending on if there's any leakage in the room, if it's an old Queenslander or if it's a tight construction. So at the end of the day, you're just adding energy. That's all you're trying to do. But then people go, well, how do I get rid of that wet air? So sometimes people will use a dehumidifier to get rid of the wet air. But you have to look at the temperature. If I've got 40 plus degrees in there, most of your dehumidifiers aren't going to be working. So you have to look at the optimum. So when we look at some hard to dry timbers, people go, oh, I just want the heat boost and the mats for drying hardwood timber. Okay. Some hardwood timbers, I want 45 degrees plus on the boards. And if I'm 20 in the room and I'm putting this, I might be getting 30 into the mat. So I'm 15 degrees short. That's when we look at our bigger machine Drymatic 2, which we're going to run through. So guys, if you've got any questions about the new Boost or about the mats, please type in your questions. We would love to hear from you, and we'll answer them accordingly. So let us know if you've got any questions on that. Let me run through how this works. I'm just going to go through and I'm going to have a look at this screen here and what's going on. So right now, I'll touch the screen so we can light it up for you. So right now it's 1756, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the fan up to high. So what will happen is that may kick that wattage down because it may register that it's going over 9.5 amps and then the wattage will go down. It's the same happened before. We were about 15 or 1600 watts. We turned our fan up and it jumped up to 1800 watts because the 6th heater kicked in. Right? So what it's doing, it fluctuates and then it'll drop back down to where it's supposed to be. So that's the beauty about it is it's very, very safe. Now let's just say that someone comes along and turns my fan off. Right? Someone turns the fan off. There's no fan. Okay? So if we watch this, how safe this is. This might take a few minutes for you guys to watch, but right now At the moment, the fan's stopping to spin and the mats are deflating slowly. Now what happens is, it senses, the airflow sensors are going to be sensing, hey, we're not getting any airflow. We're not getting any airflow at all. So right now it's dropped down to 1451 watts. Okay? And the temperature's going up. We're up at 37 because it's getting no airflow. It's dropped down. See the red cross? It's picked up. There's no fan. So sooner or later that wattage will go back to 0. So it says machine running, but the actual heater itself is disengaged. So that's how safe it is. The customer goes, oh, this is too noisy, I'm going to turn that off. The heater will disengage. So that's the safety component of it. And these are RCM compliancy approved. All right? So we can turn that one off now. And we'll turn this one off. Now we've got a little bit more there's a little bit less noise now, and we can talk about other things. Now let's talk about some of the other Drymatic products that we have here. Now, this is our brand new 22 port. 19 mil hoses, 22 port. So, what comes with the kit? So, we've got our latch system here, which latches it on. So, the original attachments had a connection, a ball catch connection. This one here has a latch connection. So we do have the latches to anyone that needs latches for their old connections. So please let us know about that. So that latch is on nice and tight, and we've got 60 meters of hose that comes with it. So that's all our hose in there, packed nicely, 2 lots of 30-meter lengths, and it's really robust hose, nice and flexible. So you've got 60 meters of hose that you can use. And this is going to be great if you need to put it into a ceiling or into cupboards or into into a wall that might be insulated in a commercial building. So it's fantastic to use a lot more ports. So I think this is going to be a fantastic product. We've tried to think of every different way that we can use this boost. So first off, the old boost box was used just to add extra heat for your dehumidifier, add extra heat for the area for the Drymatic, and also extra to target dry for mats. This boost, we've gone, how many attachments could we add to it? What are people looking for? Okay, so 22 port, that's what they're looking for. More injection. Now, this is our 12 port, okay, which is we've had for a while now. But you can see a lot of people said about the 12 port there's not enough hose. Not enough hose points. And it's too big. So what we did do is this. We now supply, part and parcel, is we supply some of this hose here, which is 25 mil internal diameter, 28 mil external. So if we want to do inside kitchens, and let's say the kicks are all pretty good, but under the kitchen's been wet, we can go to the actual bottom shelf of the kitchen, at the back of the cupboard, and drill some 28 mil holes and pop our hose in or our connector in. So this connector goes on the end of here, and this obviously goes on the end of our hose, like so. So what we then can do is we can step this from the 38 mil internal diameter down to 25 mil internal diameter and start to duct under your kitchens. And then we can get a little white vent, you can get them usually from Bunnings, and actually cap those vents off. Aerates the kitchen, and if anyone ever wants to put pesticide in there, it's easy to cap them areas off. So this is a great way. Now with this particular kit, it now comes with 30 meters of hose inside the bag, and you get 2.5 meters of this hose, and you get 12 of these connectors comes with it. So that's our 12 port kit with our kitchen kit. This is called our kitchen kit, which is our added connectors and our smaller hose. So this is great for drying in cavities as well. Different one, you can dry a lot more in cavities. Our next step along, we've got this one here is our L shape. So our L shape is great for multiple things. You can put laid flat ducting off it to duct it up. So if we pop it off the end of the boost, we can duct it up into our ceiling cavities, right? And then if we duct it up into our ceiling cavities, or we can duct it under our floor. it clicks on the front of there like so, and what we do is we can actually have a floor that's on battens. So if our battens are running this way and our floorboards are running this way, we can take an edge board off and an edge board off the other side, and we can put plastic along the edge between the actual second board in or the third board in and the actual wall on an angle, and then we can duct energy underneath the floor. So we can dry from the top, dry underneath. And on the other side, we can suck it with either an air scrubber or Drymatic 2. So it's great for drying under floors. As well as if you want to add extra heat to your environment. Say you're in a colder climate, it's in winter, you just want to add extra heat, but you don't want to add extra heat onto the floor, you just want to add extra heat to the air. You can actually just connect the L-shape on like so, add extra heat to the air, and certainly helps your drying jobs. Now we've got a couple of questions. Okay, what questions do we have?
Alright, we've got a question regarding the 22 port.
Yes?
We want to know what length of hose can we use before we start losing too much heat?
Okay, well, at the end of the day, it's all going to be dependent. You're not going to have one length going for 60 metres because you'd be struggling to get the airflow off. So what they've done is they've had 60 metres divided by the 22 sort of thing. So they're thinking of 3 to 4 metre lengths is sort of the maximum, and then obviously pop them off. Now, being a PTC heater, obviously the more back pressure that it has, that's when it's going to kick that 6th heater in, and then you're going to get maximum out of it. So beforehand, when we have the older boost and you had a bit more back pressure on it, you would lose a little bit. This will kick the 6th heater in, and once it does that, you will get a little bit more heat, but obviously you will lose a little bit. The more hose you have off, you lose a little bit of airflow. It doesn't work on airflow pressure, it works on gentle heat. By just adding heat to inside the environment, adding energy rather than pressure. So the older systems where guys had this sort of hose trying to add pressure to the environment, where this is adding gentle heat.
Okay. Next question, do you need to cap any of the ports you're not being used with the adapters?
Okay, never cap the ports. The reason why you don't cap the ports is this, is we want, the more we cap the ports, let's say I capped half of those ports, the more back pressure on the heater. The more back pressure on the heater, less energy coming out. So let's say I want the 12 port. What I don't want to do, let's say I only want to use 3 ports. If I cap all the other ones off, I've got less heat. More airflow, but less heat. So our goal is to get heat rather than airflow. Okay? So whenever you get too much airflow onto surfaces, what happens? You cool the surface. We're not looking at cooling the surface, we're looking at heating the surface. So always, now, if the initial heater that's going to turn off is going to be the one in the middle. So if I'm going to go, I only want to use 6 ports, I would go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and leave these external. Okay, leave these off. If you say I wanted to use 9 ports, I'd use 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and leave these 3 unconnected. Because the first heater that will turn off is usually the middle one, if it starts to depower. So, what I would do, start from the outside, work your way in.
Yeah. The other question we've got is about all these new hoses and new ports. Is there any backwards compatibility? I've got a 4 port or I've already got another adapter. Can I use my existing hoses?
Well, this is an 1.5-inch hose. Guys, this is 1.5-inch hose. It's a 1.5 or 38 mil. It's a hose. We do sell these individually, but you know, some people have already some of this hose. You can use it with this particular here. This hose here is a bit more unique. We found that we did go smaller than this at one stage, 15 to 16 mil, and we found that we just got a little bit more airflow with the 19 mil hoses. So we're trying not to get too high in size, but keep the performance. If you've got other hoses, as you see down here, we are coming to it. Our 4 port is a 90 mil hose, and then we've got our new 5 port, which is a 2-inch hose, which is a 50 mil hose. So some people have already got, you know, if they've got a truck mount, this is the same size hose. Okay? So what you get with the 5 port is you get your little connectors here, your connectors to connect on the front of the hose, your Jubilee clips, and makes it nice and tight. And then you've got 25 meters of hose. So 25 meters of hose comes with the kit. So what happens with that is, you've got basically 5 ports, so you've got maximum 5 meters of hose you can run off each port. That's a little bit about the 5-port. Now, where can we use the 5-port? Well, I've got 5 different areas. I want to duct under a floor. I've got to, I want to duct under into a cavity. So it's just a bigger hose than, this one. Okay, bit more airflow to get it to that further place that you want to do, but it's a 5-port. Then you've got a 4-port. Again, more airflow, but you've got 4 areas where you can distribute the heat. So it comes with 4 lengths of 6-meter hose, and you can start to put the heat into 4 different areas. Let's say upstairs I've got 2 bedrooms upstairs, and those 2 bedrooms I've only got 1 boost. I can run 2 pipes into 1 bedroom and 2 pipes into the other. I've seen guys actually run, I've got 1 wall mat over here and 1 wall mat over there, and I've only got 1 boost. You can actually run 2 ports of the boost into one mat and 2 ports into the other mat. And now you're blowing up that mat and blowing up that mat, but you're only using 1 boost. So that's really a lot of things that you can do with this 4-port. Guys are doing with it. So it comes in these black awesome bags. Now the black bags they're very easy they've got wheels, they've got nice sturdy wheels, and they've got handle that pulls out. Okay, so it's just like you're going on holidays. They're very sturdy bags, and there's a shoulder strap as well that comes with it for easy carrying. So each kit comes with a black bag. So that's all about our new kits. So we've tried to think of, if you think of, Gary, I wish I had this many ports. We're trying to think of everything to utilize this piece of equipment and make it not a one-trick pony. We've got another question.
Yeah, just a bit more about obviously 22 ports. So what sort of job would you use the tiny holes on? Just go a bit more into the type of job you use.
Well, you've just got an area that's got insulation. Let's say you've got a kitchen cupboard where they maybe not want that 28mm hole in there. They may want smaller hole in their cupboard at the back on the shelf. Or you might have a lot more area to do. Say I've got to do this kitchen, it's huge, and I need more than 12 ports. 12 ports is not enough. Well, now I've got nearly double the amount of ports. So you get away with 1 machine rather than having 2 machines and 2 12 ports.
All right, next question, is there a Y piece available with the 4 ports so we can spread that out a bit?
I like it. Is there a Y piece available? I'm sure we can find one. I'm sure DVK, that's the next on the agenda. Maybe we could get one. That is great. Okay, that's a great question. I love it. And guys, this is what I like. This is how Drymatic formed. This is really how it formed. When it came to Australia originally, we did a workshop. We had 94 students, and we had Alan James from DBK come in, and we actually physically rang every single person that went to that course and said, what do you like? What don't you like? That's how Drymatic 2 was involved, and that's how the Buspar got involved, because they just told us everything they didn't like from the older model, and we made it better. So right now, we came out with, the original kit was the 12-port, the underfloor, and the 4-port, and now we've been listening and going, the 5-port's needed. We did the 5-port. And the 22-port, because they go, we want more injection holes. So we've come up with that. Now we've got someone who wants a Y piece off that. I'm sure we can make it happen.
One more question is, if you were to say which kit is the most versatile, if I only had 1 kit in the van, what would you recommend?
Wow. They're all so different. That's the problem, they're all so different. The beauty about the 4-port size is it goes straight into a downlight. So let's say if I'm drying a townhouse and the water's gone through the yellow tongue floor, down through the actual downlights, this is the perfect size. Could I use the 5-quart? Yeah, but I'd have to tape it up a little bit because the hole's too big, because this is 2-inch. Where that one just slots in, I don't need to make another hole. So there's less damage that I have to make, right? So, yeah, it's a hard thing to say. You know, at least one of these two and one of these two, but you know, we've got a special pack, guys, where we sell them in a pack. We like you to have the free reign of all of these. You know, when I first started getting into restoration, we had a Toyota Hiace. Wow, that's a big van. Now, all of you guys that are in restoration, you're all buying these big vans. You know, we started and we had the big jumbo Transit in 2005 in our restoration business, and that's where we started. We got bigger vans as well. So you find that all of this stuff is going in the vans, and when you pull it out and set up on the jobs, you look so professional. You have all your hoses neat and tidy compared to the guys out there that are just throwing dehumidifiers and fans in there. You're starting to look, you're saying, wow, look at this thing. This is state of the art. That's how we want that to reflect in your business. Okay, so any more questions on any of the kits? That's fantastic, guys. Love the question. Love the white piece. I want to know who that is that came up with the white piece. They might get a special prize. Do you know who that was, Julius, that came up with the white piece idea?
Sean Conman.
Oh, good on you, Sean. Sean's a fantastic technician from Reassured up in Harvey Bay. Fantastic. Well done, Sean. I love it. I love your thinking. Okay, let's move on to the next section. Drymatic 2. So, Drymatic 2. Here we go. First I'll run off all the things it does and how it works and where you can use it, and then I'll talk about the new feature, okay? So, we've got 4 outlets on the Drymatic, and people always get confused. Where do these go? I don't know where to put it. I don't understand it. So let me explain it to you. The first one is pretty simple. Now, it comes in this nice blue bag over here. I'll open this blue bag up so you can have a bit of a look at what it looks like. So that's how it comes. All the hoses come like that, 4 hoses. Now when I run training schools, I go, where do the hoses go? And what do you think? It comes with 1 foil hose. This is our foil hose. Now we've got 3 ports on here. We've got the heater outlet, the room intake, the outside intake, the outside exhaust. So you're thinking the only different hose is this foil hose. Well, I think that might be for the heater. So let's put it on the heater. Okay, so that's our heater outlet. Now, right now this machine has 2 modes. So right now, this mode is called recirculation, right? So what's happening right now is there's a big duct fan under here and there's a big duct fan under here. So right now this room intake here is sucking. So what this does is you put this in the coldest area of your drying chamber. Let's say that I'm drying a 3-bedroom townhouse and it's gone through the yellow tongue floor and it's gone downstairs with carpets being thrown and we're just drying the yellow tongue, all hard to dry structure. So people go, oh, to use this machine and say it's not very good on carpet. Well, it doesn't have the evaporation potential, the evaporation to get rid of all the moisture like a dehumidifier would, but on hard to dry materials like bound materials like timber and concrete and block work, you don't need a lot of evaporation. What you need is energy in the materials. So how this works is the room intake, this is how it works. This is sucking right now, that's sucking. So I've put a Y piece off here, so I've got 2 hoses that I can suck. And I can put another joiner off here and run 2 lengths off one side and 1 length off the other. So maximum is 3 lengths of hose. So what I can do with that is I'm going to run that upstairs because I've got booths and mats running upstairs drying my floor. So that's going to be running upstairs. All that's going to be doing is sucking. Okay, and it's got 2 modes, this machine. It's sucking right now. So when it's in exhaust mode, at the moment it's in recirculation, the arrows are going round and round and round. But when it's in exhaust mode, it's got the arrows going this way and that way. Okay? When it does that, it goes through here and then this is my exhaust. So we've got a few options with this. You can run maximum 2 lengths. You've got a step down exhaust, which is this size, which is 100 mil. So you've got 150 mil or 100 mil step down exhaust. So at the end of the day, with that step down exhaust or with that exhaust, you're going to run that in an area where I can get rid of my wet air. So where can I get rid of my wet air? A room with an air conditioner, outside a window, into a fireplace, out a doggy door, into a bathroom with a ceiling vent. There's multiple places you can get rid of air. Into a dehumidifier, depending if that dehumidifier can cope with the energy coming out of here. So there's many places you can get rid of your wet air. People think, oh, where do I get rid of my wet air? All you're doing is heating the materials up. The moisture goes into the air, you suck the moisture from the air and you vent it somewhere. Okay, so while it's doing that, it's exhausting. Then while it's exhausting, it wants to bring in fresh air from our outside intake. So you've got a few options here. What does the area look like outside? So does the area look like outside? Does it look like a desert? Does it look like tropical Queensland? Or does it look like snowing? So at the end of the day, if outside air is really dry, suck from outside. If you're drying an area with carpet and dehumidification and you want to dry a timber floor over here, suck it from that area. You put a plastic wall up and suck it from that area where you're drying that carpet, so you dry air from the dehumidifier. Or you can sometimes, if I'm in tropical Queensland, I might leave that inside the drying chamber and put the room under negative pressure. So all you're doing is sucking and blowing outside, so you're putting under negative pressure. So what the new thing does is this. Now, originally it exhausted for 1 hour. Then it went into recirculation for 2 hours, and then it went into exhaust for 8 hours. Then it went into recirculation for 2 hours, and then exhaust for 8. When it goes into recirculation, here's what happens. The air sucks down here. There's a metal vein that goes across here. It swings and blocks those two off. So all it does is comes down here, turns back around and goes through the heater. So it sucks from the room, heats, sucks, heats, sucks, heats. Then it wants to go, I want to get rid of the wet air, sucks, exhausts, brings in fresh air possibly, and heats. Pretty simple design. Now, you go, okay, well I want to program it now. Well, I want it to exhaust 2 hours every 12. You can do that. I want it to exhaust for 24 hours because it's in a really wet crawl space. You can now do that. So you can actually go in and program your exhaust capabilities and your recirculation on the new model. If you have an old model, we can upgrade it by simply giving you a new screen, and there's an upgrade port here. We just plug the upgrade port in there, the upgrade software, and we upgrade your software. Okay, we'll move on down here to our injection. So also we don't want this to be a one-trick pony. So now we've got our heat and room intake where we can do injection just like we can with a 12 port. The same size hose, 38 mil, and we can do our kitchen injection as well. So we can blow energy into cavities. We've got 7 ports of heat, and we can suck the wet air as well. So this is very quiet. Right now that Drymatic's going. If I shut this off, you can tell this noise difference, right? So it's not that noisy. So at the end of the day, what I can do with this is I can add heat and pull the wet air out. So in cavities, if I want to suck that wet air and heat as well, I can do that simultaneously. So I can run the area under neutral pressure, negative pressure, or positive pressure. So I can either blow more energy in and suck less out, or I can suck more air out and blow less in. Or I can run exactly the same amount of pipes. So I can run 7 in, 7 out, or I can blow 7 in and suck 5 out. Or I can blow 5 in and suck 7 out. I've got the options with this product. So it comes with 30 meters of hose in our black bag again. So that's the Drymatic 2. So we want the Drymatic 2 to be so more versatile. So since this product has come to the market, it really becomes so popular. One thing we really like to do at Restore Solutions is have education. A lot of people that sell product don't really want to do the education. I want to do the education. I want to have the products on our website with full instructional videos on how to use them and where you can use them. We have webinars on this product. We want to make sure you know that much about the product, you're that confident, you love it and want to put more and more in your drying jobs. The more you put in our drying jobs, the better it is for us. So education's the key. So what you'll find on all of our products is we like to have educational videos on every single product. So, where you can use it, when you can't use it. All right, well, thanks very much for your time. Oh, we've got a question? Yep, we've got a question.
Can we got an adapter for the Drymatic 2 into an AFD? Is there a way we can duct it into that?
Duct the energy?
Oh, that's the question.
Okay. Are we talking about ducting the energy in, or I'm going to run through a couple of scenarios they might be thinking about.
Yes,
okay.
Exhaust.
Okay. We'll do both ways for you. This is the room intake. So right now, this is sucking. If I only had one pipe off here, this is sucking in 595 cubic meters per hour. So a lot of your air scrubbers, you know, we sell the Husqvarna air scrubber. It has a high and low speed. Okay, so the low speed is exact because it's a 1,000 cubic meters per hour, where it's 600 on low, which is this is 595, so it's pretty close. So what you can do is you can blow air from your air scrubber into here if you want. Okay, and then put it in your drying job. So you can filter the air going through the machine first. That's one option. If you want to exhaust it into an air scrubber, that's fine. You can exhaust it if you can exhaust it, all you've got to be able to do is exhaust it and tape it somewhere where this is blowing, where your air scrubber's sucking. So you don't really need an adapter. You've got some air scrubbers have got a hole where they can suck into, or an attachment. I know the Husqvarna one does, where we could actually put that into the shroud and put a bit of plastic there, and so it's sucking that sucking all of the energy from the exhaust, and then you can get your air scrubber and blow it wherever you want to blow it. But you don't want to be blowing it into the chamber. You have to be putting the chamber at negative pressure and blowing it outside. But yes, you can. That is possible. Any more questions? Okay, that's fantastic. Love the Drymatic, guys. Now people say to me, you know, we've created a bit of a culture with the Drymatic. We're out there training insurance companies, and it's becoming so more popular day to day. So this particular product is becoming. I'm getting restorers saying to me, we're going to jobs, and the assessor's saying, "Where's your Drymatic?" So really, I don't know many of the quality restorers out there that don't own Drymatic. A lot of restorers have Drymatic. We have that much product out in the country right now. It's just going out the door. We love Drymatic because it's so successful for us, because it goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. One thing that I don't like from Drymatic is how long it lasts. Thanks for joining us for the Drymatic session.